Welcome to VGK Today, a weekly podcast providing you a special look at the 2024-25 Vegas Golden Knights. It's good to be back for another season, and if you're new here, well, I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights here on Wednesday, October 9th, as the day has finally arrived for the VGK to begin their 8th season in the NHL, opening their regular season tonight at T-Mobile Arena against the Colorado Avalanche. Well, it sure is a great time of the year. Hockey is back in full swing. Our VGK broadcasting team is ready to go to tell the stories surrounding this year's Golden Knights team. And really all we're missing around town, as our local listeners will know, is some weather that matches what we're seeing on our calendars right now. But nonetheless, it's good to be back. And let's jump right into the fun today and welcome on our good friend Daren Millard to kick things off for us this season. Daren has us covered with the major storylines for Vegas heading into tonight, and he also has an exclusive chat with one of the newest members of the VGK.
Justin, let's get out of the gate with the season debut of the VGK Today podcast. A great mix of pure hockey talk coming your way, while keeping it real with a story of how a Stanley Cup champion came to arrive on the Strip on a tryout, earned a contract, and is bursting with excitement to not only extend his career, but Tanner Pearson joins a club that thinks of itself as a top team in the Western Conference. It was a year ago. Golden Knights were raising a banner, enjoying those nice, flashy Stanley Cup rings before ripping off 7 straight wins to produce the best start to a season by a Stanley Cup champion ever. Today, there are new faces with the organization and players from within that are being asked to do more this year. A combination that will attempt to produce a third consecutive start under Bruce Cassidy.
I think, we have a good team. I think 2 years ago we had a team that was very focused on, they missed the playoffs. There was some newness, including the coach, and we wanted to get up and running. And that was a direct message to the players, and this is how we're going to do it. And I think our training camp was excellent. Last year, I think there was just a residual effect of the guys being back together. The last time they were together, they were winning a Stanley Cup in T-Mobile, and there was a lot of great memories. And they really hadn't been together to almost training camp again. Then you managed some guys from preseason on, so it was kind of a lot of the same group too, right? There was, I think, 1 or 2 new faces. So that, I think, helped us a lot. This year, maybe a little bit more of the first year, so where there are some new faces, but we want to sort of say, hey, we want to get back to where we were, so let's be ready to go. That's just a feeling I'm getting from the group, but you don't know till you play, right? You don't know. I think last year we won some games early on where we weren't at our best for most of the night, but we found ways to win because we were a really good team. I'd like to think we'd be closer to our game earlier this year. Would I love to win 10 or 11 in a row? Of course, that's what matters, but I think there were some games in there we didn't play that well but found ways to win. And then later in the year, that balances out sometimes. You do play a little better and you don't get the puck luck. So, anyway, to answer your question, I think it's a product of good players and I think efficient training camps where we are covering a lot of things, so there's not a lot of surprises when we do play. It's just a matter of getting out there and executing.
William Karlsson will not be available for at least the first week, placed on injured reserve, an absence that requires an adjustment to the forward lines. The blue line is healthy to start, and it will be as anticipated with the top 6, while Adin Hill will get the opening night assignment. Newcomer Ilya Samsonov won't have to wait long to make his Vegas debut, however. Here once again is head coach Bruce Cassidy.
You're going to see a lot of both goaltenders. I think we have 25 games between now and December 1st or right after Thanksgiving. That's a lot of hockey, I think. So we're going to need both. So have we mapped out every game? Rough draft of it, but it's more about how we see the games and numbers going. And then obviously, performance dictates a lot, but both goalies are going to get a chance to get to their game early on. We're not going to bury a guy if he has a bad outing, right? So it's pretty much scripted for the first month for sure, and then most of the second month, and we'll see where we land after that.
There are a handful of players on this roster that were not here on opening night last season, like Samsonov. It also includes a Stanley Cup champion who played his way into a contract via a training camp tryout. Tanner Pearson proved his game has more to give, although it was via a path he has never traveled before. I had a chance to connect with Tanner to talk about this journey. What are the nerves hours before this season? Would they be different than other years?
Probably not so much now, after everything's kind of settled. But yeah, you're obviously excited to get things going. Maybe, there's a bit more pressure to really not be complacent. So you want to probably take it day by day and, try to help the team.
Let's go back. When did the Vegas connection jump into the picture?
Early August, everything probably started happening. I was in LA for our 10-year Cup reunion, actually, and that's kind of when it all went down.
And do you get a call from your agent, or do you get a call from Kelly? Like, how does it come together?
Yeah, it was from my agent. Kind of heard scufflings. A couple former teammates, they were doing their due diligence, so they were calling guys that I've played with, so they kind of gave me the heads up, and then kind of went through my agent after that.
Did you run it by the guys at the reunion?
Yeah, I talked to Marty a whole bunch. Johnny was there, so obviously talked to him. Quickie wasn't, so didn't pick his brain, but no, those two guys did it for sure.
What did they tell you? And on the subject of a PTO, did you reach out to guys that have been through that before?
Yeah, so obviously Marty and Johnny put in good things. Johnny's, pretty honest guy, so he kind of laid things out, and Marty said how great the organization is and how much I would love it if it came to fruition. And then I actually talked to Trevor Lewis, who was went on a PTO in Winnipeg back in the day.
And he's still going?
And he's still going. What was it, 5 years ago or something like that? So, yeah, that was a good conversation, definitely for my mental attitude, and it was definitely appreciated.
Did it take some work to get through that you were going on a PTO?
Yeah, obviously you want to have a contract going into things, and but also makes you a bit more hungry going into it, right? You want to do the right things in preparation, and then you want to get here and do the right things on the ice.
So how is your game compared to where you expected or needed it to be in this training camp?
I don't think too far off. I think I'm a pretty simple player, good north-south, good on the walls, and let the other stuff take care of itself. It just, focus on the small things, doing those right, which I think, went a long way with this training camp. So I'm going to stick to the guns.
Was it hard to stay out of your own head being here without a contract?
Yeah. You definitely maybe, you're not hanging out with the guys every day per se. You're kind of going about your business probably more than usual or previous camps. And so, yeah, it's tough. It was kind of a low-key camp for me when I wasn't here, and I'm just trying to take care of myself.
But it seemed like a pretty good fit from the first skate, first line rushes, first preseason game.
Yeah, I've always said I think my game's kind of fitted Western style maybe a bit better, and how they play here is definitely maybe going back to my Kings days and that kind of structure and that kind of accountability. So hopefully I can thrive with that.
I don't know whether you can put a day or a period in camp on it, but was there a moment where you felt like this is going in the right direction?
Yeah, I had some conversation with people, and they said they like where my game was at, and you hear that, you don't want the bubble to burst per se. You got to keep on chugging along until something's official. But it was definitely encouraging to hear. So I just kind of stuck with it after that.
So now you got to find a place because you've been living at the hotel for a while and get a family here.
Yeah, so that's on the agenda today actually. Wife flies in today, so no kids right now, so still missing them, but it'll be good to get fully settled and move to the hotel.
So the house hunting starts in earnest now?
Yeah, it's on full bore, that's for sure. It's been 4 weeks in the hotel, so you want to get settled a bit more.
What did Bruce tell you at the start, those conversations, and then the conversations now that you're signed as far as expectations?
Yeah, we first got here, had a conversation with me and how he expected me to kind of play and what I had to do. He said obviously maybe playing under Sutter, it could be a good fit, but no, it's I don't think the expectations were maybe in the points department too high. It was kind of more doing the small things right and focusing on that.
So do you change your expectations given how well things have gone?
No, I think you kind of stick with what's worked out for the last 12 years and or 11 years, and just don't get complacent, don't look too far ahead, and just keep taking it day by day and working as hard as you can.
Had a couple of different centers, but the combination with Keegan Colasar has been consistent, and he's raved about the chemistry and leaning on you. Tell me a little bit about your relationship.
Yeah, obviously it helps sitting beside each other in the room there, and from day one, and being on the line pretty much together since day one. So I think chemistry is such a big thing in this league. It can take you, so far, and the quicker it happens, the better off we'll all be. But yeah, it was nice playing with the same guys throughout camp and not bouncing around, so you kind of can stick to that game plan and focus on that.
What will it be like in opening night when you take that lineup?
Yeah, it'll be exciting. It's always
big smile on your face.
It's because it's one of the more intimidating places to play.
Yeah.
It's loud. You're walking on the ice at the same entrance, and it definitely gets the blood flowing. So it'll be good to have my blood flowing on this side of the fence.
All out of a Stanley Cup reunion. That's pretty cool. Congratulations and good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Pearson's game has range. His experience will be so valuable to a group of players cutting their teeth with Vegas. So he's a full-time player, and he's a part-time mentor coming into the season. I want to tell you that your Vegas Golden Knight broadcast team is prepared for its 8th season. We've been hard at work fine-tuning things through the preseason. Got some great stories to come your way over the next first month of the season. A 1-hour season preview show will air on Vegas 34 and Nighttime Plus prior to puck drop for a nationally televised game on TNT. That's ahead of Colorado and Vegas. We will have Friday and Sunday's games on Scripps Sports. The radio broadcast can be heard on Fox Sports Las Vegas, flagship station of the Vegas Golden Knights, followed by the VGK Insider Show on Wednesday and Friday. Justin, there's a freshness to this season. You can feel it, right? Opportunity that is more present than ever before outside of year one, a roster right now that is saturated with potential. VGK Today will come your way each and every week, rotated through the Vegas Golden Knights broadcast team, produced by Justin at every turn. It's good to be back, my friend. Looking forward to working with you. Enjoy this season, pal.
Well, it's great to be back with you too, Daren. I'm excited at what this season holds for the Golden Knights, and I'm delighted to be able to take you all, the listeners, through this season through the eyes of the team broadcasters and share with you some special stories of the team this season. While, of course, we're all excited for the Golden Knights to get things going tonight, let's take a quick look around the NHL and what you can expect tonight, as well as take a look at what happened yesterday on true opening night across the entire league. We had the St. Louis Blues going into Seattle and picking up a 3-2 comeback victory over the Kraken. A couple of goals from Jordan Kyrou in that one to help the Blues come back from down 2-0 in the second period. The Florida Panthers defending their Stanley Cup championship, and they passed their first test with a 6-4 home victory over the Jeremy Swayman-less Boston Bruins, raising their banner and getting a win all in one night to start their championship defense off right. Last one of the night from last night was the Utah Hockey Club, their debut at home against Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks, and Utah did not disappoint. A 5-2 victory in their opener. Dylan Guenther, the first player to score for the Utah Hockey Club. Mark it down. Get your trivia ready for when you're going to need it in a few years' time. Dylan Guenther, the first person to score a goal for the Utah Hockey Club. Moving on to tonight's games. Bit more on the schedule tonight. Of course, the Golden Knights and the Avalanche will be among the last games to take place. But starting off near the front of the schedule, we have the first game of the day at 4 o'clock. The Maple Leafs visiting the Montreal Canadiens, followed quickly after by the Pittsburgh Penguins hosting the New York Rangers. And then we get into some Western Conference hockey, and more specifically, Pacific Division hockey, which I know you will all very much be tuned into the entire season. It starts off with the defending Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers hosting the Winnipeg Jets, and then the Canucks hosting the Calgary Flames before the Golden Knights and Avalanche have the nightcap at 10 o'clock on TNT, and of course on Fox Sports Las Vegas with Dan Duva and Gary Lawless. To add on a bit to what Daren said in terms of the viewing options this year for the VGK, you can, of course, go over and get Nighttime Plus on nighttimeplus.com because it is back this season with performance upgrades and even more content. So be sure to get that this year if you haven't already. If you want to go to some games, we've got a couple of options there. Of course, you can head on over to vegasgoldenknights.com and you can check out some special ticket offers where you can get limited edition themed merchandise with your VGK ticket to select games. For example, Emo Night on October 13th coming up here, and Ninth Island Night on October 22nd. If you're in Henderson and you want to check out some Silver Knights hockey, well, be sure to head over to hendersonsilverknights.com and get tickets for opening weekend for the HSK on October 18th and 19th. AHL season does begin this weekend, but the team is in Texas for the first couple of games. So October 18th and 19th, they're back at home at Lee's Family Forum, forging the night with fans there against the Calgary Wranglers. So join Brian McCormick and myself in Henderson if you want to check out some Silver Knights hockey. And finally, if you want some more podcasting content, I highly recommend, before tonight's game starts, go check out SLGND. The guys just recorded their first episode of the season, and you can listen to Dave Gosher, Shane Knighty, Dan Duva, and Gary Lawless give some of their takes on the VGK roster and some of the players that they had their eyes on during the preseason. Well, that'll wrap things up for today's show. Thanks as always for tuning in to VGK Today. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform, as we'll be back each week throughout the 2024-25 regular season with new episodes. Stay tuned next week as Ashley Weiss joins the program. Justin Russo signing off for VGK Today.